What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and another Dryad meta build. As most of you know, I'm working my way through the Ancient Powers, and I'm up to a champion score of 2965. I need to get to 3915 to unlock Chaos 7, so still have a ways to go, and gonna hop right on into some Chaos 6 trials. Now, Chaos 6 is the one tier where I stay in Chaos 6 trials. I haven't been going back over to Onslaught. I just haven't had very much luck with gear. And at this point in the game, it is definitely RNG based with how many runs you have to do of each Chaos trial before you can move on to the next. Now, since I've been having more luck in Chaos 6 trials than I have been on the appropriate Onslaught, I've been sticking to the trials for sure. Alright, and we actually have my absolute favorite map, and that is Temple and Necrotic. I love this map, and I love building this map on the Dryad, as you just get to do the silly, ridiculous B builds. Now, let's go ahead and get things started. I always start off on this side, and the first thing I want to look for is, do I have Hex Throwers here? And I do indeed. So having Hex Throwers here can put a little bit of a damper on things, and the reason being is, if you put a wall here, Hex Throwers could throw through the wall and hit your Soul Stone. So what I usually do to remedy that is just move the wall up. More so like it's a spawn camp. That way, when the Hex Throwers come out, they're going to start throwing sooner, and the angle is going to be so it's not going to hit that sub-objective. Of course, the easy thing to do is to just go ahead and put your wall wherever you want and put a reflect beam in front of it. However, since this is a Dryad meta build, I am going to use nothing but the Dryad. So let's go ahead and hop over to the Slimer, get a couple of slimes down. I'm going to be using the Nimbus, the lovely angry Nimbus, for some flyer protection, plus just to help assist in these other two lanes when there's no flyers. And then, might as well bee it up. Let's go ahead and grab 3 bees there. Now, the bees and the Nimbus will both go inside of the spawn. So if the Hex Throwers stay inside and are protected and start throwing, my bees and the Nimbus will go in there and take care of that situation. Let's go ahead and put a couple more walls here. And then I'm going to just bee it up here. 3 bees on each lane. Of course, those overlap. So you've got 6 bees just wrecking it up right here. Now, of course, we're using the Nimbus for flyer control. I'm going to put one up close and another one a little bit further back. And then now we've only spent 680 DU out of 1300. So it's time for me to move on in to the Bee Madness. So I'm going to throw just one tree here as a wall. Now, I am using Vicious Strikes and Deadly Strikes on my trees, and that is why the range is so large. If you don't yet have Vicious Strikes, you can just move your tree right up here to a protected area right behind this little wall segment, and that will still allow you to do the same build without having the Hyper Shard. Now, of course, Vicious Strikes is one of the easier Hyper Shards to achieve, and it's definitely a game changer, so I do recommend everyone hop into Mastery and get themselves the Vicious Strikes. Vicious Strikes, of course, is the second Mastery Shard you can get, the second Hyper Shard you can get in Mastery, so it is available at 155 stars. Now, you can, you know what, let's sell one of those. You can, it doesn't matter where those stars come from, so you don't have to do them all in order. So you can go through each of the Chaos Trials, or each of the Chaos Tiers that you're comfortable with, and unlock those 155 stars to get you that Vicious Strikes. Let's go ahead and get things started here. Wave 1 is really the toughest part of the wave, or the toughest part of the match, and the reason being is you have to survive through it long enough to be able to get some upgrades in place. Now, this map does have lots of mobs, and in light of that, you're going to have to regen yourself a little Corrupty Juice to stay in corrupt form throughout the map. You can do that, of course, by just dropping some stars when you're in the Purification form, or just getting out there and getting involved with the melee. Now, of course, if you get in the mix with the melee, it's going to make it go quicker. Now, the Holy Artifact, depending on your build and what lanes you get, there is a good chance the Holy Artifact will go down. Not a big deal, particularly right now. All we're worried about is the champion score. I want to get the champion score up to get into Chaos 7, and if that Holy Artifact does go down, it doesn't open any other lanes. It actually opens this center lane up, and it is actually set so it doesn't have a lane schedule currently. So no mobs actually come out for that objective falling. Now, you do get a little less experience. However, still a fun build nonetheless. One of the reasons I absolutely love this build is it's one of those builds where you do have to pay attention. However, if you feel the need to go make a sandwich or whatever you need to do, you can easily park inside here where you're semi-protected and go do your thing real quick while it runs. And, you know, it's not a full-on AFK, but it does allow you to chillax a little. And, you know, there is nothing wrong with a little chillaxing gaming. Now, with this build, the mana does get scattered quite a bit, so you do have to run around and collect it all up. And then, once this wave is over, I always upgrade this side of the map first. The reason being is, with the exception of the occasional boss, I try not to come over to this side. I usually like to get all of my business done right in here at the artifact. Also makes for a really nice assassin killing area. As we know, the assassins will come after wave 3, and with that many bees packed in one tight little area, the assassins just absolutely have no chance. Alright, we got an upgrade on everything. I'm going to go ahead and throw one up on that tree, as I know this is normally a boss lane, as it is now, and it appears we have Malthius. So I've got 300 DU left. Let's go ahead, we'll dump 100 of it. Actually, let's dump it all right here. We'll get these Nimbus Clouds all squared away, and then now I 100% should not have to worry about flyers at all through the entire rest of the match. It is a little bit of a waiting game, this map. As I mentioned, it does have a lot of mobs, plus there are some long lanes. So if you do build like this, it is kind of a turtle build in the aspect of it. The mobs have a long way to go before they get into the range where they're taking damage. So it does extend the time that the map takes. However, I just love this map, and it doesn't bother me at all to spend a little bit more time in it. I guess one of my great loves for this map is I've just always had really good luck with loot on this map. And you know, it's all about the shinies. If you have one particular map where where it seems like you're getting the best drops, then of course there's a pretty good chance that's going to be your favorite map, and no difference at all here with me and Temple and Necrotic. So wave 2 is going pretty smooth. Get a little bit of that corrupted juice flowing here. And remember, you do have the trees, so anytime you take a little damage, just run back, get healed up. Don't have the assassins until next wave, but when the assassins come, you're going to want to stay inside where you have the tree healing, plus you've got all these bees in the Nimbus to help you take care of those assassins. Now, if you don't have all of the gear to have all of your Dryad defenses all geared out, you can always drop the Nimbus and just use more bees on this side. Then, of course, over on this other side, you're going to want to use Sky Guards or some sort of air defense in to help take care of those flyers. And there goes Malthius, as we see the Nimbus and the bees are both going inside and getting in their shots. Very, very nice. Throw a quick heal on that tree and just start prepping up for wave number 3. Now, of course, we know in wave 3 we will have the assassins coming. So no more upgrades required really on that side. So I'm just going to run around, collect up all this mana, and get all of the upgrades I can over here. Now, this particular lane is really easy to ignore and not pay attention to. So I always upgrade it first. That way I don't accidentally derp and have just a whole lot of unnecessary badness roll up through that lane. Past that point, it's fair game. Just spam them around, get the ups in. No real need to do anything for that tree. The only reason we even have it placed is 100% just so we can put down the other Dryad's defenses. Alright, we've got some backup stars. We are good to go. And this wave, of course, we can expect the assassins to come. Now, with a decent amount of mobs and some long lanes for the mobs to travel down, the assassins generally won't come until towards the end of the wave, so don't sweat it. Just when you see that purple glow, start headed back that way. That way these bees handle these assassins for you. Drop a couple stars. I don't want to blow too much of the juices. I want to spend as much time in corruption form. Actually, I'd like to spend the entire wave in corruption form if I can. Now, if I get a siege roller, of course, I will pop out. And I do have a siege roller. I'll pop out to get some more stars here after these assassins pop. And as we see, there they come. And there they go. So, bees will take care of that. You know, let's go ahead and hop on over and take this roller out. Now remember, this lane, the mobs do have a long way to go. So if for some reason that roller does take your wall down, no big deal. It's got a long way before it's actually going to reach anything that's going to hurt you. However, of course, with the construction shard, that should not really be a problem. Ooh, there's a pretty nice mark. I think that bad boy just might go on top of my slimes. Let me go ahead and pick it up. I'll check it midway through. Now currently I'm using a purple relic on my Nimbus clouds, and although the Nimbus don't really require defense health, they will lose charges really fast as their attack rate is ridiculously quick if you have no defense health. So in my situation, I'm just having to keep an eye on the Nimbus clouds to make sure they don't get too dangerously low. Let's take a peek at that mark. Oh yeah, that's substantially better than the medallion that I had. And this will actually handle my Nimbus situation, as now I've got the defense health in the mix as well. Get all juiced up. One more round of ups just on this stuff right here, just because. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump it all over here. I'm not even going to bother to run around and collect all the mana laying on the ground at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and get the wave started and call it good. This is an awesome build. This build also works in Onslaught mode. The only difference is if you have a controlled burn lane over on this side of the map where they're going to come up to the artifact, then you will have to have something in more than just these two Nimbus to help take care of that. So you want to either just really spam up the Nimbus, or to be honest with you, what I normally do is throw either a PDT in whatever the controlled burn lane is, if there's no geodes, and then if there are geodes, then I'll usually just throw down a couple of slimes in that particular lane and call it good. Now, if you do that, you're going to want to put your slimes up top here where they are in range of the bees. You want the slimes to hit them and oil them, and then the bees to go do the devastation. Get all juiced back up, and we should be good to go for the rest of the wave here. Quite a few little kobolds coming in. Go ahead and put the hurting on them. As I mentioned, not to worry about the Holy Artifact. That's just some Hex Throwers taking some shots at it. It finally went down. No problem there. It won't be a big deal at all. Now, at this state of the game, it's debatable whether or not you should let any of your sub-objectives stand on any map. Generally, there's two different ways to play the game. Either you're looking for speed and experience, or you're looking for loot. If you're looking for loot, then more mobs, of course, mean more chance of loot to drop. So in the loot type situations where you are hunting down the gear, I quite frequently will let some objectives fall just to get the increased number of mobs. Now, it does slow the map down just a little bit. However, I have had great luck with that. Looks like that Plaguing Hawk's just going to get wrecked. Oh, yeah. Yeah, looks like potentially might have a few upgrades here. Let's see. Not that. There's an upgrade. I've been getting just an absurd amount of relics. And normally I would be celebrating that fact. However, relics don't come into the figure with champion score. So right now I'm trying to get into Chaos 7, not grind Chaos 6 over and over again. So I want less relics and more armor and weapons to drop. Let's go ahead and get juiced up once more. And we'll get wave 5 going. I really do like the Angry Nimbus. I know that at some point there has been talk, and there was a thread sticking at the forums quite some time on potential ideas on changing the Dryad and how she works. And I absolutely love all of those ideas. Head on over to the Dungeon Defenders 2 forums and check that sticky post out, as there are just some really great ideas. But it's been pretty common since the beginning that people don't like the fact of having to put a tree down to be able to place Dryad defenses. And I'm no different. I want to put the defenses wherever I want to put them. And one of the suggestions on the forums was to actually turn the tree into like an aura of sorts, where it made a little bit more sense. Now you would still require that tree to be able to place the Dryad defenses down. However, if the range was a little bit larger, or if it had some other purposes, it would be, you know, it would make a lot more sense on how to make that happen. Sting 'em up, bees. Sting 'em up. Oh yeah, let's see what we got over here. There's another nice upgrade. It's just a small upgrade, though, when you look at the gear score. But, you know, I'll take it. I still stand by the fact, all the way up to Onslaught 136. That's, you know, I know folks have made it much further than that, but I personally have pushed to 136, and I still stand true to the statement of the best anti-assassin strategy is to stack hero health. As long as you have a nice bit of hero health, assassins are just not really a problem, as you're going to live long enough for your defenses to kill the assassins right off of you. Close call on that one too. Now that one actually would be better if it was upgraded. As you see, the sword that I'm currently equipped, I have upgraded. I upgraded a few items just to be able to push over in gear score to get to the next tier. Now, so far, out of my Ancient Power resets, plus talking to Cookie Benger and a few others, it seems like you have to do like 5 to 6 Chaos 6s to get the champion score high enough to push through into the next tier. And that's definitely been how it's been for me. It's been like 6 matches. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of the loot here, and we'll take a look and see what my champion score is up to now. Looks like that's all the gear. Now, I have been using the auto-equip gear button, as right now all I care about is getting that number higher. Alright, so we're up to 3,000. Still got a long ways to go, so going to have to do another run or two before I can close the deal there. So that will do it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe to the channel, and I will be back soon with more Dungeon Defenders 2. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.